Following a series of tragic 737 MAX crashes, Boeing has faced investigations and a crisis that has shaken its very core. The merger with McDonnell Douglas in 1997 changed Boeing's culture. As the company struggles to regain its footing, key questions remain. Can Boeing restore its reputation? Will it be able to innovate its way out of this mess? Watch till the end to find out. The Boeing 747, introduced in 1967, revolutionized air travel with its spacious design and long-range capabilities. It quickly became an icon, known for its luxurious amenities and ability to connect distant cities directly. Pan Am famously launched its commercial service with a 747 flight from New York to London in 1970, announcing a new era of global air travel. Initially celebrated for making air travel more accessible and affordable for middle-class passengers, the 747's popularity gradually waned in favor of smaller, more fuel-efficient aircraft. Despite this shift, the 747 continued to make headlines, including a record-setting flight from New York to London in under 5 hours by a British Airways 747 in 2020. Inside, the 747 was renowned for its spaciousness, featuring amenities like movie screens and a lounge area upstairs accessed by a spiral staircase. Originally intended as a crew rest area, it evolved into a luxurious space for first-class passengers, customized by airlines with names like the Penthouse Lounge and the Tea House in the Sky. How do you think the design and amenities of the Boeing 747 influenced passenger expectations for air travel? Now, Boeing's quality issues have been a hot topic lately, and for good reason. The company's struggles aren't new. They've been building up for years. These problems were only made worse by the pandemic, when Boeing lost many of its experienced workers. In a 2007 interview, Ron Woodard, former president of Boeing's commercial airplane group, expressed deep satisfaction with the fallout from Boeing's acquisition of McDonnell Douglas. He believed they overpaid significantly for McDonnell Douglas and that the merger fundamentally changed Boeing's culture for the worse. Woodard was saddened by the shift from a cozy, engineer-led atmosphere to a cutthroat corporate environment where shareholder value trumped engineering excellence. After the merger in 1997, led by CEO Phil Condit, Boeing underwent radical changes. Stonecipher, who took over as CEO in 2003, emphasized a more business-oriented approach, urging employees to prioritize performance over safety. The move from Seattle to Chicago in 2001 added to the disorientation, disrupting Boeing's long-standing connection to its roots at Boeing Field. Do you believe that relocating headquarters had any long-term effects on the company's identity and operations? The cultural shift had many effects on Boeing's aircraft development strategy. Instead of pioneering new designs like the iconic 707 and 727, Boeing opted to extend the life of its successful 737 series with updates like the 737 MAX. This decision was driven by cost considerations and the promise of improved efficiency with new engines, despite concerns from engineers and pilots about the plane's design limitations. Crucially, the problems with the MAX revealed Boeing's dependence on software updates such as the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System to resolve basic aerodynamic problems. This approach, criticized by experts like Gregory Travis, highlighted a departure from Boeing's traditional commitment to robust engineering solutions. From chatting with over 24 current and former employees, it's clear there's been a long-standing worry about quality at Boeing. Many said it felt like the company was more focused on putting out planes than ensuring quality. Some workers even mentioned a practice called inspector shopping, where they'd find inspectors who wouldn't scrutinize their work too much. Boeing denies this, saying they've boosted their number of quality inspectors by 20% since 2019. Even before the MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019, Boeing was under pressure to compete with Airbus, which had launched a fuel-efficient plane before the MAX hit the skies. After the crashes, Airbus pulled ahead even more, and Boeing had been scrambling to catch up ever since the MAX was cleared to fly again in late 2020. The pandemic dealt a heavy blow to Boeing's workforce. They lost thousands of experienced workers due to layoffs, buyouts, retirements, and resignations. Although they've hired new employees, there's still a loss of valuable knowledge, and it shows. Boeing suppliers are also struggling to keep up with demand. Boeing is under the microscope now more than ever. Since January 5th, they've been hit with a barrage of bad news. The Federal Aviation Administration increased the number of inspections at Boeing's factories, and customers have been voicing their frustrations. A 6-week FAA audit of the 737 MAX production found many quality control lapses, and Boeing had until late May to fix them. Plus, the Justice Department is conducting a criminal investigation. What steps do you think the company should prioritize to restore trust and improve its operational integrity? Boeing is trying to turn things around. They've announced more inspections at their Renton, Washington factory where the MAX planes are built. They've also decided not to accept MAX bodies from their supplier, Spirit AeroSystems, if they still need work. Previously, they'd accept flawed bodies to keep production on schedule. The company is also focusing on more training for its employees, responding to requests for more support on the factory floor. In a major shakeup, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun will step down at the end of the year. The head of the commercial airplane unit, Stan Deal, is out immediately, and board chairman Larry Kellner won't seek re-election. Boeing's recent leadership shakeup marks a significant moment for the aviation giant, led by intense pressure from major U.S. airlines. After CEOs from United, Southwest, and American Airlines, along with industry leaders, pushed for a change in response to Boeing's safety crisis, the company announced a sweeping overhaul of its top management. Calhoun and other key executives are stepping down, signaling a crucial shift in Boeing's direction. The catalyst for this change was a critical incident involving an Alaskan Airlines jet, which increased Boeing's ongoing crisis. Board discussions on leadership changes had been ongoing for months, but recent events hastened the decision. The new leadership inherits a complex landscape: criminal investigations, financial challenges, regulatory scrutiny, and market share losses to Airbus. They face the daunting task of rebuilding trust with airlines and the public, reassuring them about the safety of Boeing aircraft. Steve Mollenkopf, former Qualcomm CEO, now leads the search for Calhoun's replacement, positioning him to shape Boeing's future significantly. Calhoun himself plans to stay until year-end to navigate the FAA's scrutiny of Boeing's factories and potentially challenging labor negotiations. Larry Kellner will not seek re-election, adding to the boardroom changes. Stan Deal, head of Boeing's commercial jetliner division, has already stepped down, succeeded by Stephanie Pope, Boeing's COO and a potential successor to Calhoun. The leadership transition presents both challenges and opportunities. Critics like Richard Abulafia see it as a chance for Boeing to pivot away from a cash-focused strategy and regain its industry leadership. Potential CEO candidates include Pope, GE's Larry Culp, Carrier Global's David Gitlin, Spirit AeroSystems' Patrick Shanahan, and American Airlines' Greg Smith, showing the depth of talent being considered for the role. What qualities do you think are most important for Boeing's next CEO to possess in order to restore its reputation? Boeing is at a critical point, aiming to reclaim its former reputation through a comprehensive reset. This strategic overhaul involves addressing long-standing manufacturing issues, shifting away from a narrow focus on cash, and restoring confidence in its flagship 737 MAX jetliner. In recent years, Boeing has faced significant financial losses totaling $26 billion, compounded by mounting frustration from major customers and safety officials. The 737 MAX, crucial for domestic U.S. flights, has been a focal point amid ongoing safety concerns. The FAA, overseeing Boeing closely, has halted production until strict quality controls are assured following a serious January accident. FAA officials, including new head Michael Whitaker, have openly questioned Boeing's safety culture, underscoring the gravity of the situation. Boeing's response includes a phased approach to enhance quality controls across its operations and supply chain. This includes halting acceptance of incomplete fuselages from Spirit AeroSystems, a key supplier. Brian West, Boeing's CFO, highlighted efforts to prevent assembly line delays caused by late parts, a significant factor contributing to quality lapses. Industry leaders like John Pluger of Air Lease Corp view this challenging period as potentially beneficial for Boeing in the long run. They believe a stronger Boeing with regained regulatory and public trust will ultimately benefit customers and airlines alike. Looking ahead, Boeing faces rigorous scrutiny from the FAA, which demands progress updates at 30-day intervals, with subsequent reviews planned at 60 and 90 days. Calhoun emphasized Boeing's commitment to meeting these expectations, signaling a stance towards resolving internal challenges and rebuilding stakeholder confidence. Do you believe that rigorous inspection and strict regulatory oversight are sufficient to restore public trust in Boeing, or do you think additional measures are necessary? This reset not only aims to resolve immediate issues, but also positions Boeing for a future marked by operational excellence and renewed credibility in aviation safety, a crucial step towards reclaiming its leadership in the global aerospace industry. Now, Boeing finds itself at a critical point, looking back at its last normal year in 2018 and facing a potentially long road ahead before returning to stability. The optimism for another normal year is pinned on 2028, assuming no further setbacks, a significant caution giving Boeing's recent history of self-inflicted challenges. Critics argue that Boeing's problems reflect a pattern of neglect from its executive leadership and board similar to the decline of Douglas aircraft under McDonnell Douglas in the 1960s and 1970s. Boeing's current backlog share in the single-aisle aircraft sector stands at 35 to 38%, depending on various factors including competitors like Comac and Embraer. Some industry experts foresee further declines, projecting a potential future share of 30% or less during doubts about Boeing's ability to launch new aircraft designs. Looking ahead, Boeing faces the difficult task of resolving its inventory issues, particularly with the MAX and 787 models, and achieving certifications necessary for production increases. These steps are crucial for restoring profitability with Boeing commercial airplanes, although the defense sector poses additional challenges. The company also grapples with significant financial obligations, including over $40 billion in debt, which it aims to address through renewed profitability. This financial health is seen as essential for any future investments in new aircraft development. Despite these challenges, there remains cautious optimism that Boeing will eventually embark on a new airplane program, potentially under the leadership of David Calhoun. However, the timeline and conditions for such a move remain uncertain during ongoing operational and financial pressures. Boeing faced another serious setback with the MAX 9 crisis beginning on January 5th when Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 experienced a door plug separation just before takeoff. Thankfully, skilled pilots prevented a potential tragedy, as the incident could have been catastrophic if passengers had occupied nearby seats. Alaska Airlines and United Airlines, the largest MAX 9 operators globally, swiftly grounded their fleets, prompting the FAA to follow suit the next day. This marked a significant blow to Boeing, compounded by the FAA's decision to cap production rates indefinitely. It took 3 weeks for Boeing to gain FAA approval for its inspection and repair procedures, allowing the MAX 9s to return to service. However, the repercussions are ongoing, with Boeing now facing delays in certifying the MAX 7 and MAX 10 variants, pushing their entry into service likely into 2026. The MAX 7, originally scheduled for service in early 2019, now faces a 6-year delay. Meanwhile, the MAX 10, delayed initially by the 2018 and 2019 MAX 8 crashes, is also facing significant postponements. Public confidence remains a concern, with a survey indicating that over 40% of respondents would hesitate to fly on a MAX aircraft, highlighting broader perception challenges Boeing must address. What steps do you think Boeing should take to rebuild public confidence in the safety and reliability of its airplanes? Production rates for the 737 MAX have been adjusted downward from 52 per month before the grounding to 38 per month currently, with plans to reach 50 per month by the end of 2025, which is still below pre-grounding levels. Analysts like Robert Stallard expressed skepticism about Boeing's ability to meet financial targets in the middle of ongoing FAA oversight and political scrutiny. Boeing's stock remains volatile, influenced by developments related to the MAX program. Boeing marked a significant milestone as it delivered the final 747 aircraft ever produced, a freighter version, to Atlas Air. This event gathered thousands of current and former employees in Everett, Washington to commemorate the end of an era in aviation. The freighter variant, equipped with a unique hinged nose for easy loading, which shows Boeing's initial vision of the 747 as a versatile platform capable of meeting diverse aviation needs. Designed to be both a capable freighter and a spacious passenger airliner, the 747's development was guided by Joe Sutter, its lead designer, who emphasized versatility and safety. Sutter's vision led to the wide-body concept, giving the 747 its distinctive double-aisle cabin and immense fuselage. This design not only accommodated hundreds of passengers comfortably, but also made the 747 suitable for cargo transport, a dual-purpose capability that set it apart from other aircraft of its time. Standing tall with a tail that rivaled a 6-story building and stretching 225 feet in length, the 747 was a true jumbo jet. Its construction required Boeing to build a massive assembly plant in Everett, Washington, which shows the scale of ambition behind the project. Beyond commercial success, the 747 became an integral part of American culture. It served as the basis for Air Force One, the presidential aircraft, and was even adapted to transport the space shuttle, showcasing its adaptability and robust design. Safety was crucial in Sutter's design philosophy, with the 747 equipped with systems to ensure reliability and passenger confidence. This commitment to safety, combined with its iconic size and technological advancements like high bypass engines, cemented the 747's legacy in aviation history. Since the tragic crashes of the Boeing 737 MAX planes in 2018 and 2019, Boeing has undergone significant changes and faced renewed scrutiny due to subsequent incidents and investigations. Dennis Muhlenberg, CEO during the crashes, testified before Congress in October of 2019 and acknowledged accountability for the accidents. He was subsequently fired in December 2019, with Boeing citing the need to restore confidence. David Calhoun took over as CEO in January 2020, but announced his intentions to step down by the end of 2024 following further incidents. In January of 2021, Boeing reached a $2.5 billion settlement with the Department of Justice over charges related to defrauding the FAA's Aircraft Evaluation Group. This settlement stemmed from allegations that Boeing employees misled regulators about the maneuvering characteristics augmentation system, which was conveyed in the crashes. The settlement includes fines, compensation for the families of crash victims, and funds for affected airlines. The fallout from the crashes and the subsequent revelations highlighted deeper cultural issues within Boeing, including allegations of prioritizing profits over safety. Congressional investigations revealed internal documents suggesting attempts to conceal information about MCAS from regulators and pilot manuals, further damaging Boeing's reputation. What specific actions would you recommend Boeing take to restore trust in its corporate culture and operations? But since the tragic crashes of the Boeing 737 MAX planes in 2018 and 2019, significant developments have unfolded, shaping Boeing's path forward. Mark Faulkner, Boeing's chief technical pilot for the 737 MAX, faced criminal charges for allegedly providing false information to FAA regulators regarding the flight control software implicated in the crashes. In October of 2021, Faulkner was indicted but later found not guilty of all charges in federal court. This case underscored the intense legal scrutiny Boeing and its personnel faced in the aftermath. Boeing also faced numerous lawsuits from families of the crash victims. By November of 2019, over 150 lawsuits had been filed, primarily relating from the crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia. Settlements related to the Indonesia crash were reported by Boeing in 2020, though specific details were not disclosed. As of June 2023, cases related to passengers from the Ethiopian airline crash were still pending. Now, following the crashes, regulators worldwide, including the FAA, grounded the Boeing 737 MAX in March 2019. The FAA's decision was preceded by global grounding orders. The process of recertifying the aircraft involves significant modifications, including software updates, revised crew procedures, and enhanced training requirements for pilots. The FAA's recertification in November 2020 allowed the 737 MAX to resume operations under strict conditions aimed at ensuring safety. A December 2020 Senate committee report criticized Boeing and the FAA's handling of the 737 MAX recertification process. The report alleged that Boeing and FAA officials may have predetermined outcomes and inappropriately influenced test pilots during recertification efforts. Boeing and the FAA responded to these allegations, emphasizing their commitment to safety and the thoroughness of the recertification process. Boeing also acknowledged learning many hard lessons from the crashes and subsequent investigations. The company pledged to address the issues identified and to cooperate with ongoing regulatory oversight and public scrutiny. The incidents led to a reevaluation of Boeing's internal safety culture and operational practices to prevent future tragedies. India's decision to lift the ban on Boeing's 737 MAX in August of 2021 came after closely watching its performance globally, where no significant issues were reported. This move reflected India's confidence in the aircraft's safety improvements since its grounding following fatal crashes in 2018 and 2019. China, on the other hand, was the first country to ground the 737 MAX after the crashes, but resumed commercial flights with the model in January of 2023, indicating a cautious approach to ensuring the aircraft's safety and reliability. Do you think Boeing should have invested more in new plane designs instead of upgrading the 737? And in your opinion, what should Boeing do next to regain its reputation? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for joining us on this gripping journey through the events surrounding Boeing. But hey, the excitement doesn't have to end here. If you enjoyed the ride, subscribe for more thrilling tales, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, make sure your seatbelt is fastened and tray tables are up. Safe travels and happy subscribing.